Hi everybody, I'm Misty. I'm the editor-in-chief of On the Bit magazine, and today you are watching Upbeat Bits. When I started this magazine originally, the one thing that I thought the world needed more of was positivity, and that's what we've stood on for the last 5 years. We print positive, upbeat stories. Sometimes we print sad stories that have a positive twist at the end, or just something that people can empathize with, you know, seeing people that have gone through the same things that you have and knowing that they kind of have a light at the end of the tunnel. For whatever reason lately, it just seems like there's just been so much bad news. There's bad news every time you open your email. There's bad news every time you turn on the TV. There's bad news every time you open social media. It's kind of annoying. So the one thing that I was thinking about was starting something new and fresh on OTB's channel called Upbeat Bits. And it's just us sharing news, like good news from everyday equestrians. Upbeat Bits is just literally any kind of good news. We actually did a feature in our summer issue, which looks like this. It just came out, and there's our feature. It's actually a 4-page spread because I was like, this needs to be big. So we did a 4-page spread, and I'm also going to share Upbeat Bits with you. I'll maybe try to do it once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. I'm not really sure yet, but just stay tuned for our channel. So I got onto social media and I said, tell me your good news this week. Anything equestrian related, I don't care if it's with your horse or with your barn friend, your coach, I want to hear it. I got a lot of really fun responses to it. Meredith said, I'm going to go see my creature, aka horse, for the first time since June 6th. I had abdominal surgery, so I haven't been able to make it out there, which is terrible. Abdominal surgery is so hard to recover from. So I'm really glad for you, Meredith, that you got to go out and see your pony. Mandy Jo said, I have an MRI tomorrow on my back, CT scan on my ankle Friday. Not sure if it classifies as good news, but I will be one step closer to hopefully less pain. Fingers crossed. Pretty sure most equestrians that have fallen off, you know how long it takes to wait to get an MRI or a CT scan. And working in healthcare, it takes forever, unless it's an emergency, so I'm glad for that. I hope you get some answers there. Marcy said, I was able to load my 2 orphan yearlings that I raised from 1 week old into a 2-horse straight load trailer by myself and no one got upset. I'm proud of you, Marcy. I'm really proud of you, I am. That's a big deal. Krista said, I haven't had a chance to ride my ponies this month because my son is getting married on Saturday and wedding plans have taken priority. Looking forward for life to slow down a little in July and get back in the saddle. I sure hope that that happened for you, Krista. Getting married is a big deal. Congratulations to your son. In other news, Seth and Cricket were APHA bronze champions in the novice, 5th in the intermediate, and 9th in the 14 to 18 hunter under saddle today. APHA posted this photo of the 2 of them showing in horsemanship on Monday. Congratulations! This next one is my dream, so to see somebody else being able to live out something that is their dream also was a big deal. Danielle said, we closed on our 10-acre property this coming Tuesday. My horses will finally be in my backyard. Girl, that is my dream too. Congratulations, that's a huge deal. I really hope that you share some pictures, because I can only imagine looking out my kitchen window and seeing my horses in the backyard. That is my dream too. I'm glad that you're able to realize it for one of us. Deb Fisher said, I've been busy taking care of all my equine buddies, making horses feel better one at a time. And she does massage therapy. And we appreciate you, Deb. Massage therapy is a big deal. Michelle says, my 2 old men are still living the leisure life. Hannah says, the girl who rides my horse and has been unable to get into practice shows due to various reasons managed to go to our local 4-H, overcome her fear of repeating last year's practice show where she got a concussion and literally missed the county show because of it, and win reserve grand champion. I'm so proud of her and just waiting for photos to make a post. And I hope you do. I'd love to see those. My other lesson kid for performance managed to go to 4-H and win a few firsts as well, even though we just started teaching her and her horse halter and pleasure 3 months ago. That's a big deal. I remember being in 4-H and just being absolutely terrified the first time, so congratulations. I thought this one was funny. Brianna says, I pulled my goober of a gelding out of the field for a bath this afternoon as he is a model for a photo shoot tonight. Aside from daily feeding time, he hasn't done a darn thing since we got back from our final show of the year last October. His BFF was screaming for him in the barn. The giant horse flies were harassing him looking for a meal. I managed to kill 3. And he's used to the warm water at his trainer's barn. He stood like a stone. He had every right to dance around, holler like a fool, try and escape the cold water and flies. Instead, he cocked his foot and just relaxed the whole time. I bred and raised this horse. He can be quirky, goofy, and an oaf, but this afternoon he was none of those things, and I'm so proud of him. Every horse owner knows the frustration of all of that. Jenny says, Harness Horse Youth Foundation had their youth camp day on June 24th at the Clinton County Fairgrounds in Frankfort, and a great time was had by all. I can guarantee that a great time was had by all. I have done stuff with the HHYF, and it was a blast. If you're interested in harness racing or you have a child that is a great group to check out. Benita's was so cute. I'm just happy I'm still riding at 72. Hope to ride forever. Girl, if Queen Elizabeth can do it, so can you. This one hit kind of hard because I lost my horse to colic in November. But Hillary says, my 30-year-old mare bounced back from a near euthanasia complication after colic surgery. She had her last dose of antibiotics Monday after being on them for 90 days. I'm so glad that you had a good experience with that, and I hope she's around for a long time. Sounds like she's very loved. Kristen said, I had hip surgery a few months ago. Yesterday was the first time I sat on my horse and actually steered on my own and made her walk, with some help from my trainer because he's amazing. It felt amazing. Also slightly terrifying because she's a baby and I have very little strength, so any slight thing would have had me toppling off, but still worth it. I can tell you from having hip replacement, it is terrifying the first time getting back on. It is so scary. Kai says, my saddle came in the mail, been saving for months. And girl, I hope it is the most comfortable saddle you ever sat your butt in. Lori said, heading to Colorado to see Sandwash Basin where my Mustang lived wild and free before the BLM gathered most of the herd. So cute. And I hope Lori may possibly be doing an article for us about her trip to the Sandwash Basin. So hopefully we'll see how that goes. Amy says, over the weekend I showed English for the first time in around 30 years and for the first time ever for my 16-year-old trail horse. We got second in English pleasure. I am so proud of him. Girl, I'm so proud of you. That is a big deal. And congratulations on your second. I think the first time that I got back in the saddle, I think it was like 16 years, and I got a 5th place, and I was over the moon. That is the one ribbon that I kept. Corey says, I loped my horse Braxton for the first time today. I don't know if you meant like that is your first time loping or just your first time loping on that horse or for that horse, but in any case, that is a huge deal. Tanya says, we got our trailer all loaded up, washed our mare, and packed our bags. Our daughter is heading to Rodeo Nationals in the AM, and I hope she did so good. Evelyn shared this picture of her horse and dog. Jinx is the horse and Charlie is a sheepadoodle. I've never heard of a sheepadoodle, but he looks cute. I have no idea what these two say to each other, but most of the time I think they are up to no good, and I feel like you probably got a book to write. Christine said, I did a photo shoot last night with Sydney Carroll and I think we nailed it. Girl, I think you did too. You look gorgeous. Pam says, had the honor to judge Hancock and Clark County fairs last week and the kids were amazing. Well, I'll tell you what, as a kid that was terrified of showing in 4-H, the judges, you have an opportunity to make or break their experience. I remember, I can't remember, I think it was English Pleasure that I had ridden in a class, and the judge came over to talk to me afterward, and I thought that was a really big deal. And I did well in that class. I remember doing well in that class, but just the fact that she came over to talk to me and tell me that I did a good job, that made my heart just feel so good. Elizabeth says, he didn't roll after a bath, and girl, that is everything. Lita, or Lida, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Riding my 31-year-old hurt horse on the trails is a blessing I never take for granted. He continues to amaze me. This photo is from a couple of weeks ago. And it looks like you guys are quite a pair. I love that you match. Tracy said, took a bucket list trip to the World Equestrian Center in Ocala with my best friend and got a room with a view of the Grand Arena. Watched Grand Prix jumping both from the stands and our room. That is so cool. I had no idea that you could do something like that, and now I have to. So thanks, Tracy. My pocketbook does not thank you, but I guess that's on my bucket list now too, because that sounds really cool. So that is it for this week's Upbeat Bits. I hope that you enjoyed it. Hopefully, this is my first time doing it, so we'll see how it goes. But I really enjoyed reading all of your good news, and just hope you continue to share it with me so I can share it with others. Have a good day.